Greetings, Earthlings! My name is Zero Jake and welcome back to Space Engineers. So, in between last episode and this one, I have finished construction of our little welding area, welding and grinding ship. I've decided to have one tool for each one so that it can do it without having to retrofit. And a grinder only costs 2 more motors, and that's it, than a welder. So that was actually a pretty easy thing to do. We've got our cargo container. Everything is good. I've also added landing gears, which I forgot to do last time, which kind of made it difficult when I flew away. But other than that, I welded up all the broken bits of armor block and ground down a lot of the outlying stuff. This basically means that I've got more steel plate and it's easier to go around without hitting something. So today we're going to be working on improving this ship so that it can pursue others or get away from others. The way that we're going to do that is we are going to use hydrogen thrusters. To begin with, we're going to have one that's in a retrograde position so that when we need to slow down, it can slow us down properly. Now, hydrogen thrusters work by, instead of using power, they use hydrogen. And hydrogen is made from ice, which means that we're going to need, to begin with, a hydrogen thruster that needs to be connected through a conveyor network to either the oxygen generator or a hydrogen tank. The hydrogen tank is basically a buffer. If we run out of ice, then we've still got hydrogen in the tank to be able to use. Right, so the good thing about hydrogen thrusters is that they don't require thruster components, and therefore do not require platinum. Because I looked at the cost for another large ion thruster, and that was in the region of 100 to 200 platinum as a military transporter. I don't think we'll head to that one. It's also quite far away, so we're not going to be able to get there in time before it leaves our sensor range. So we just need a few hundred components. That should be fine. And then we just need to hook it up to a conveyor network. And then some other things as well. So we're going to need quite a bit of metal grid, which requires nickel, cobalt and iron. Luckily I have plenty of that. Plenty of nickel, plenty of cobalt, plenty of iron. All good. Actually, what's in here? Refinery. You've got nickel, ore and platinum. Well, I want you... We've got some extra nickel over there. I want you to work on some silver, actually. That would be the better way, because we don't have much silver. So yeah, the assemblers should be building the metal grids that we need. We also need some steel plate. We don't need that much steel plate. We also need construction components, and I'll have a check later. Well, I'll have a check now on what other things we need. We need a large amount of large steel tubes, more construction components, and more metal grid. Okay, right. Let's go get those. Production. I need some more steel tubes. I also need more construction components. Okay, right, so metal grid is actually pretty heavy. Not as heavy as thruster components, and not as needed as thruster components, which is very, very useful. Right, assembler, metal grid. We should have plenty of metal grid, and possibly enough for another one. And now all we're going to need to wait on is some more construction components, and that should be good. Just a few more. Right, so let's go to construction. 19 construction. And more metal grid. Right, and then we just need 3 large steel tubes and 30 construction components. Excellent. Right, so we now have this amazing large hydrogen thruster, which is pretty good. And then the way that this works is it has conveyor points, so I've gone ahead and drilled a bit back here. We're going to hook it up to the nuclear reactor because we can. So we just need conveyor tube, and then we're going to need a sufficient amount of everything. So, oh god, yeah. It's a good thing we got some additional construction components, hey. And then some more small steel tube. Are we going to run out of iron? No, we've got plenty of iron. Well, I say plenty, that's not much. Right, let's go to cargo. Let's throw everything back. So we need small steel tube, we need motors, steel plate, and construction components. Yeah, we just need some more small steel tubes. That's not how you spell tube, man. God. Small steel tube. There we go. Then we just need to add 1, 2. Then we need a curved one. Right, just need some more motors. We need to build more of those as well. Inventory. More motors, more construction components. Right, and then I just need to hope that I've got enough resources in here to do the rest. No, I'm going to need some small steel tubes. Small steel tubes, possibly some more steel plate. Not that many motors, we can get rid of 50 of them. Is that enough? Yeah, should be. Excellent. So now that thruster is now hooked up to the system. It should now be attempting to use hydrogen from the oxygen generator, which is fine, but we need a tank to do that. So I was thinking up here we could have a hydrogen tank, possibly. Might be a good idea. So just throw all this junk away. Need to clear out some room. Well, first of all, how big is the hydrogen tank? Hydrogen tank. So it's a 3x3. We could fit it possibly here. Yeah, it would fit there. Which means we need to take out these rows. Okay, hydrogen tank. You can't be placed because there's a pipe there. Okay. Just give me a second, because I don't want it extruding out of the ship too much, otherwise it will get shot first and then we'll have no maneuvering capabilities. And, you know, it's very bad when you don't have any maneuvering capabilities. Right, that should be enough space. Correct? 9. Okay, I want... Yeah, it can face that way, that'll be fine. And then we just need to replace this one with a regular conveyor, which will require a bunch of things. Let's just go production and make a large conveyor, because then I can make sure that I have all the resources I need. And then I just need to pull all the resources into the cargo container, and I should be able to access it. If I can find it, that is. Possibly being a bit blind. There. Conveyor. Right, inventory. Assembler. Let's go cargo. Throw everything away. Right. should be enough resources if we get all the construction components we need. Okay, good. So now we can get rid of this, this block here. And then we need to pick up some interior plate. Place down this conveyor. Just need a few more small steel tube. Small steel tube. And done. So that should hook everything up. Good. And now we can start building this hydrogen generator, which will, hydrogen tank, which will require a hefty amount of steel plate, large steel tubes, all the usual things. Okay, 80 large steel tube, which I doubt we have, with 69 though. Just need a few more. Just gonna double check on our iron levels. 5, that's good. Right. Right, nearly done, just need 10 more. Okay, there we go, and then we just need one more small steel tube. We also need some computers. Computers here, small steel tube. We need more. Production, small steel tube. Inventory, assembler. Then we need just 40 construction components, and then we have our hydrogen tank. Hydrogen construction components. There we go. Fill that in. Good, right. You see down here, that's a measure of how much stuff is in there. Let's have a look at the oxygen generator. Are you doing anything? Yes, you are decreasing. I didn't want to do that. So how do we measure what the contents of this? So it's filling up, which is good. Stockpile hydrogen as well. And actually what we can do is we can move the hydrogen from here into here. And then we can move the oxygen from here into here. And then what we do is we set refill on for the tank, well, for both tanks, and then they will refill all of the hydrogen that's in here. We also kind of don't need the stockpile as well, since that's kind of useless as there's only one tank. But yeah, so that should take a bit in order to get enough hydrogen. One other thing that we could do is we could add something that makes it entirely sustainable, which would be a oxygen farm. What's actually the requirements for that? Oxygen farm requires bulletproof glass. We have that, I believe. Or we have the silicon to make it. Yeah, so an oxygen farm would also help. Oxygen farms do passive. They give passive amounts of oxygen and hydrogen, but they need sunlight in order to do it. So a good thing to do here would be place it here, flip it around, and place it along these nacelles, and that should passively give us oxygen and hydrogen. So I just need, well, what I really want is access to a conveyor, or access to something else. So I just need steel plate, large steel tube, bulletproof glass, all the usuals. Right, let's throw it here. Noting that we have to place... yeah, I'm going to need to deposit some inventory. I hope you don't mind. Right. So basically we need a conveyor coming out here. So we can throw a conveyor here. We just need interior plate. My god, I need to be more prepared with this. Just need one interior plate for now. We also need bulletproof glass, which we're going to need more of. Production, bulletproof glass. Throw a conveyor here. We'll also do the same along here when we add more. So we just need to flip this around. Okay, and then start welding it up. So we need 100 bulletproof glass, we need 20 we need 20 large steel tubes, and 10 metal grid. $20 large steel tubes and the metal grid. That actually fits nicely. And some more construction components. Production, construction components. Okay, and then head back to this, head back to here, cargo. Actually get rid of that, we don't need it. So what we need is the 100 or so bulletproof glass. What's that? Military escort, okay. What I'm looking for is a civilian ship, so like a private sail or something, because those have a tiny amount of turrets, which means that it's easier for us to take it on. And I have a way of doing that. First would be to take out its turrets and then slow it down, build something on it that allows me to control it, turn it off, and then build a control panel, access it, see if there's any booby traps or anything. If there are, turn the entire ship off, and then grind it all down, or like pilot it back here, or back to wherever the capital ship is. So we just need. Oh no, it's done, isn't it? Isn't it? Is it? Yes, it is. Good. So this will generate power from the sun, which is currently facing that way. So it's got quite a bit of sunlight hitting it, especially since. Actually, I know it would be better if we pilot the ship, you know, wherever the front of it is, over here. Oh, there is a problem though. So the problem is that this isn't actually hooked up, and we're going to need to hook it up. So we need motors, steel plate. Excellent. I knew there was something wrong with that. So we're getting oxygen and hydrogen from it, but it's not actually going into the system, which is kind of a shame. We don't need that many. We also need motors and small steel tubes. Get rid of more. We don't need it. Small steel tube. There we go. So we need to go down here, repair the connection here, and then this will connect the other reactor to this place. We need more construction component. Throw you here. I don't care if it's red. And then we just need to get some construction component. Excellent. We need more. You know what? I'm just going to build 1,000 construction component and see how long that lasts us. Alternatively, I could pick up the construction component that's still in here. Yeah, just build 600 of that. Okay, right. That should be connected now to the large reactor. And then what we need to do, that's getting closer. It's not getting much closer, but it is getting closer nonetheless. What we need to do now is then get a conveyor and get it up to there. In fact, no, we need to weld this together. Interior plate, construction component, motor, small steel tube. Interior plate, small steel tube, motor, and construction. Also going to need some more small steel tubes as well. Okay. Just need some conveyor tubes, need some steel plate. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, do I have enough small steel tube? No. Right. Production, cancel. I need a handful of small steel tube. That will do. Inventory, assembler. Get that. And last thing that we need to do is add this here, which we don't have enough construction components for, obviously. Right, now that that's hooked up, our oxygen farm should be helping us instead of doing absolutely nothing. So yes, you're doing things, this is good, you've got a certain amount. Where's a control panel? Is there no control panel on here? Ah, yes. Let's see, you are outputting a tiny amount of oxygen. Oh, you only do oxygen, so you don't do any hydrogen. Oh well, at least it's giving us oxygen that we can rely on, because it doesn't actually require power. Let's actually rotate our ship into a form at which we can constantly get power and everything else. You good? Okay, good. You should be getting... Yeah, if you can see there, that's 4 on the oxygen farms and the solar panels. Good. Right, let's double check on our hydrogen tank. It doesn't look like it's full that much. In fact, what it's probably done is... oh god, yeah. Look at our oxygen generator, everybody. It is out of ice. Right, we're going to need a lot more ice in order to fill that tank up. This will, however, allow us to use this hydrogen thruster. I don't know how long for, but it will allow us to do so. In between this episode and the next one, I will construct more, well, I'll construct another hydrogen thruster here. I'll get some more ice, probably build some more cargo containers as well, so that we can house more things. And then we will be designing, in the next episode, a ship that can fight and stop a ship, which is basically a fighter that has landing gear that clamps onto something else and slows it down. Probably going to be a drone, so I don't risk my own life. Or it might be cockpitted, which means that if I do badly, then that's a short end to the series. But until then, my name has been Zero Jake. End transmission.